Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show with your host Shikama. This next topic, behind the scenes, saw a lot of debate. When I was doing research for this, people came and said that it was not true. My research found that it was true, so I'm going to go with my research. Georgia becomes the first state to pass Convention of States resolution. That means Georgia is the first state who will be calling into a new constitutional amendment to the United States of America. They have been holding, just for a little background, they have been holding this off for a very long time because the powers that be, that's in the federal government, are very much afraid of this. It could go either way for the federal government. It could be that the states say the federal government has to shut down nearly 50% of all of the things that they're doing. That could actually happen. And this is what they're really afraid of. The states are the ones who make the decisions here. Now, could it be that Wall Street with billions of dollars could buy the states? That could be a factor if we were talking about one state. But there are 50 states. We are talking about governors and state houses that they would have to grease. And they cannot possibly grease everybody because everybody doesn't want to be greased. And I'm talking about, you know, your greased hands, greasing your hands. Anyway, it's a underworld criminal speak that I'm trying to portray myself as knowing about, which of course I don't. State Representative Buzz Brockway, Republican of Lawrenceville, celebrates passage of Convention of States resolution. Atlanta, Georgia, State Representative Buzz Brockway celebrates the passage today of Senate Resolution 736 by Senator Cecil Staton, Republican of Macon, in the Georgia House of Representatives. SR 736 calls for an Article 5 Convention of States for the purpose of proposing amendments to the United States Constitution on the limited topics of limiting the power and jurisdiction of the federal government and establishing term limits for federal officials. Brockway, the resolution's primary sponsor in the Georgia House, said, "I'm proud Georgia has taken the lead on the very important work of restoring our republic. An Article 5 Convention of States would provide an opportunity for the citizens of this great nation to restore the balance of power between the states and the federal government. I urge legislatures in the other 49 states to join Georgia and call for a convention of states for the purpose of proposing amendments to the U.S. Constitution." By a vote of 107 to 58, Georgia becomes the first state in the country to pass this historic resolution, which is being promoted nationwide by the Convention of States Project, COS, a grassroots nonprofit organization founded this past August by Constitutional Party attorney Dr. Michael Farris of Virginia and Mark Meckler, founder of the political think tank Citizens for Self-Governance. The same resolution has been introduced into 13 different state legislatures in 2014, with more to come. COS hopes to gain passage in 34 states in time for a convention to be held in 2016. Buzz Brockway was first elected to the State House of Representatives in November of 2010. He is a Majority Caucus Deputy Whip and serves as Vice Chairman of the Government Affairs Committee. He is also a member of the Appropriations, Economic Development, and Insurance Committees. He has been named a Defender of Liberty by the American Conservative Union for the past 2 years and scored 100% on legislative scorecards for Americans for Prosperity and the National Federation of Independent Businesses. Buzz holds a B+ average from the Georgia Chamber of Commerce and an A+ average for the Georgia Parents Alliance. Buzz has been involved in local politics since the mid-1990s and served as chairman of the Ginwit Republican Party from 2002 to 2005. Update. Thanks for all the comments and encouragement, folks. This is directly from Buzz. I would also like to add, we are poised to pass a bill describing how Georgia would pick delegates to an Article 5 convention and requiring they follow the instructions the legislature gives them. If they fail to do so, they would be recalled and prosecuted. Keep an eye on Mount Vernon Assembly. That group is made up of legislatures from around the country who will be meeting to research the history and set up the structure of a convention of states. Should we get 34 states to issue a call? The Convention of States project hopes to pass the resolution we pass in about a dozen states this year. Georgia also renewed its call for a balanced budget convention, becoming the 21st state with an active call on that topic. I hope that every state adopts the same sort of determination that this is a republic form of government, that the central government, the federal government, is not the central government. It is simply the overarching government that seeks to protect the other states of the United States. It is not the father of all of the states. It is simply a protectorate. Like a guard outside of your front door protects you, that's what the federal government is supposed to do. It's not supposed to come inside of your house and tell you what to do in your own house. That's our government. The beauty of this form of government, decentralized form of government, is that if you do not like something in your state, you can go to a totally different state that has a completely different form of government and live happily ever after. For those special interests around the country, be they gays, Jews, Muslims, find a community in a state that accepts you and accepts the lifestyle that you want to lead and cater to you. Do not try and propose your lifestyle and enforce your lifestyle on the entire United States. And that is the whole problem of trying to go to daddy when mama says no. The states each have said no to a lot of these special interests, and so these special interests go to the federal government, and it has to stop. We are the United States of America. We're not the United Federal Government of America. Understand what type of government that we have. Black people understand what type of government that we have, because you are being beaten over the head by the federal government and the state government. You need to find a state that openly embraces black people, doesn't target you while you're walking down the street. I'm being completely serious now. Doesn't target you when you're walking down the street, doesn't illegally stop, search, and seize you. This is your life. You need to understand where you live. You are an American citizen. They're not treating you like an American citizen. You need to go where they treat you like an American citizen. I am deathly serious. All of these other fringe groups, these little tiny groups with almost nobody in them, like the gay community, the Jewish community, the Muslim community, stop pretending that you are the majority and that you can enforce the majority to do something that you want. The entire point of freedom is that you should be able to exercise your human rights. It does not mean that you are to enforce your ideologies on the rest of it, because that is going against the exercise of another person's human rights. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show. I hope all 34 states sign up this year and pass legislation so we can get the ball rolling to get all the 50 states in on this. Thank you for watching the Chicago Live Show.